Hi, I'm Carlita, and this is Carlita Talk, brought to you by PPSV Charities, where we talk with individuals uplifting the community with a champion mindset. Today, we are talking with Jonny J. Fit. Jonny J. Fit is a fitness trainer and life coach. He's using his passion to empower others by strengthening them inside and out. You don't want to miss this one.
All right, we're talking with Jonny J. Fit. Jonny is a personal trainer in Denver, Colorado. Can you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. I've been a personal trainer for over 20 years now, and I've gone into business. I do online fitness coaching, health and wellness coaching for the last 2 years. And here we are. It's been a journey getting here, and lots of steps along the way, and a lot of things I've done to get to this point. And I'd really like to talk about some of my journey and what I'm doing in terms of the fitness space in regards to mental health.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How did you become, what did you want to, like, why did you want to become a personal trainer?
Ultimately just to help people with their fitness goals. I think that's, where everybody starts, and just fell in love with the process. It's like, as I was figuring things out, kind of the trial and error and just soaking things up and being a complete nerd about it. It took me a long time to figure these things out. And as I figured them out, I'm like, you know what? I'm developing a blueprint here that could work for just about anybody. So let's streamline this. Let me help others. And the feelings that I get of accomplishment when I started to see and feel the results of the work that I was putting in, I wanted everybody to feel that. I want everybody to get just a little, in some aspect or another, and to show people how that floods into other aspects of their life and improving in other aspects of their life. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. On top of that, fitness, I'd have to say personally, has saved my life. I have a long history of mental health issues of my own, depression and alcohol and substance abuse. And if it wasn't for fitness, if it wasn't for the gym, I don't know. I don't know how far down the other path I would have gone. But to be able to be that passionate and hold that idea so close to me, and to see how I could help facilitate that and introduce that to somebody else who might be hurting and looking for some way to change their life. There's no better way, no better foundation.
Can you talk a little bit more about that? Like how it helped you? Like
I think it was, I believe most of us, we start off thinking we want the body, right? We want to change the way we look, and not realizing that it's really the work that we put in that develops something intrinsic internally inside us. It's doing the hard stuff. It's every day showing up for yourself. It's about consistency, determination. Even when you don't feel like it, you show up and you do it, and you do it. We're living in a world of such impulse, and we want the instant gratification. Where this, you have to develop a mindset and the heart to realize this is a long game. This is a marathon, and just that alone, it does something. It changes something inside our thinking and our believing in ourselves, and I think how we relate to the outside world. So that right there was a big component for me in development of my character, and overcoming some of these mental health challenges that I've had, and just the confidence that comes with it. So lots going on there.
I have a question. So I know you did the incline in Manitou Springs recently for the first time, and you said it was horrible.
Oh gosh.
It was awful. But then you had a little bit of a feeling afterwards of how you wanted to go do it again.
Yes. That was crazy.
So I feel like this is a feeling you get a lot when you work out a lot. When you work out and like something is really, really hard, and it's like, F that. I don't want to do that. Like, that sucked. But then after you do it, it's this feeling of euphoric. It's like an euphoric feeling where you're just like, oh my God, like, oh, that was hard. That did suck. But I did that.
Yes.
I did that. And it makes you want to go do it again. And that's what working out feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because so many different things going on, like physiological response there, but then the endorphins, the serotonin, the dopamine that floods you, that, you accomplish, you overcome such an insane challenge.
Yeah.
And
'Cause
yeah,
it
as soon
sucks.
as I did
It
that,
does
I was
suck.
like, yep, one and done. That was a bucket list. Check that off. I'm never doing that again.
Yeah.
And on the way home, I was like, why do I all of a sudden want to do that again? And do it better. See if I
So
can do
funny.
that better. Beat my time, you know?
Yeah. It's
like
funny
that.
because every time I reach the top of it, it's like, I'm so excited. Like
Yeah.
I just am so proud of
Yeah.
myself every time. I've done an incline over 100 times and I'm just like, just so proud of myself.
And tell
like,
me, every
it's so
time you're up
hard.
there, you take a moment and you look out and you
Yeah.
look down and you just take that in. Because,
And then running down, I'm just like, can't
Yeah.
wait to come do this again.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that feeling of like, what else can I do? What's the next thing I can do? What's the next challenge?
Yeah.
How else can I push myself?
Yep.
And most people don't realize, I didn't realize my true capabilities, doing these things. You set your sight on a goal and you might have this idea of how that might feel or the way the transformation you might have, not really realizing that at that point, that's your new foundation. That's your new baseline. And that opens up this whole other mindset of all these other things that weren't even on your radar before. And that's how this works. Trying to explain that to somebody, like you're going to become this whole new person through this transformation. But they don't really understand what that means.
Right.
There's no context there. You have to do the hard stuff. You got to put in
Doing
the
the
work.
physical stuff is going to change the mental stuff.
100%.
It has to.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. I love to equate fitness to active meditation. It's my active meditation. It's my ability to, two different ways there. There's days where I just want to go in and just turn my brain off, stop thinking and just push weight and energy through my body. And that does something there. Other days I want to work through something. I'm using something that's going on in my life. And fueling that and focusing on that. So whether I'm thinking about the outside world and my life, outside of the gym or not, it's a meditative process for me. And
Same.
I love to conceptualize it that way. I really can work through a lot.
I can too. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I think that's why I like working out by myself.
Yeah.
Because it's just like me, myself, and I,
Totally.
right? Working
Yeah.
through things. Whereas other people, like, in order to work out, it's like they need a class or they
Yes.
need like a group sitting, which I totally get. And that's great. If that's what you need, do that.
Right.
Like whatever gets you to
Right.
work out. But like,
So let me add to that. That's very interesting you brought that up because I used to think the same thing. Everybody's like, Jonny, let's work out together. No, I'm a lone wolf. I do this myself. Lately, as you've probably seen in the gym, I'm working out with other folks. And on a mental health aspect, there's something really incredible that I've been experiencing. It's that cohesiveness, that sense of community that I think is being built, that I'm helping to be a part of and contribute. And something I like to speak on is mental health and men and masculinity. And I'm very much that one that's never shied away from. My mom taught me well to embrace, the masculine and feminine sides of myself. I'm not afraid to be emotional.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to express how I feel about myself and others and the world around me. And it's been amazing for me to challenge and influence some of my gym buddies in that way, where I'm very expressive. I want people to feel good about themselves, and I do it genuinely. And I want to gas people up, tell people how incredible they're looking and they're feeling. Hopefully they're feeling that way as well, and the work that they're putting in. And when we work out together, it's nothing but hype, and we need more of that. We're living in a world that seems to really be dividing us in so many ways.
well, and I think right now too with people being social, it's just not happening, right? Ever since
Right.
COVID, I feel like things have really there's like a gap between communities and no communities. It's like there's a huge gap, and I feel like bringing that back into the gym, where I've been going to that gym for a long time, and I feel like just in the last like 2 or 3 years, I've started to like talk to people more. And I'm part of the problem, like I like to keep to myself. I'm kind of a private person and I don't
Sure.
really reach out, but it's like, I do want that community,
Right.
and I think it's important. And I think especially now in this age where people are always on their phones and people aren't communicating with each other as much, like we need to bring that back in any place we can. So
Absolutely.
a gym is a perfect place to do
perfect
that.
place. And I love to open the icebreaker is, we see each other every single day. We're all here for the same reason.
Yeah.
I'm finally going to go up and say, hi, my name is Jonny.
Right.
Yeah. How are things going?
Right.
And it's like, you see the same people year after year. It's like, who are you? What are you all about?
Yeah.
How things working out for you?
Yeah.
So from a personal training standpoint and just from just a community standpoint, the gym is just, it's an incredible place to be able to reconnect with others. And going back to touch on the masculinity part of it too, I think that it's I take that back. Let's talk for a second about, I also noticed this trend. Fitness has become huge, right? So everybody's into it. It's like the new thing, and
everybody's an influencer.
Oh, everybody's an influencer. Everybody's abandoning the party life for taking care of themselves. One thing I've noticed though is everybody's getting so hyper obsessed about their bodies and how they look, and I'm really advocating now. It's just as important, if not more important, to work on the inner stuff. It's great that we're all getting fit. But what good is it if we're just a bunch of fit, vapid people that aren't really working on themselves internally?
Absolutely.
Asking themselves the hard, doing the shadow work, as they call it, what are you all about? Why do you think and feel a certain way? Why do you believe certain things? What is it that you don't like? What traumas need to be addressed? A lot of folks want to tune all that out and just work on their bodies. And so I'm trying to for me, I'd love to bridge that gap, and through fitness.
And do you do that with your clients?
Absolutely.
Is that what part of yours?
Yeah. It seems to become, I'm loving it. It wasn't my intention, but it's become more of, somewhat of a life coaching kind of aspect, just because, not that I have all the answers, but I'm authentic and real, and I'm vulnerable, and I'm opening up.
And you're going through it.
And I'm going through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you
sharing
can help
my
guide
experiences.
people going through what you're going
Absolutely.
through. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes. I love that. So here we are. I can't express enough how fitness and looking after yourself, health wise, is, no matter what you're going through, if you need answers in where to start in rebuilding, refocusing, redirecting, get into a gym, start there. Everybody says, yeah. No, for real. It is, it's the medicine. It's the foundation in which everything else is built. I don't care what you're doing or where you've been or what's going on in your life. Start there.
Well, your body is your personal temple.
Yeah. It really is. And we're being inundated now with so many other external factors in our environment and our food supply and stress factors, that it's important now more than ever to counteract these things that we're being affected by, right? Somebody said to me, well, if drinking's so bad, Jonny, why is my Grandma Edna, who's lived to be 95, she drank it. Well, Grandma Edna she didn't live in the world that we live in today. She had a little bit more.
And she also didn't handle all of her trauma.
Yeah, well, there's that too. Yeah, but I'd like to think she had a little bit more wiggle room in terms of her body's ability to handle that. Now you're seeing that. I hear over and over again, man, I just can't hang like I used to. I can't handle it like I used to. And I don't think that's just with aging. I think that's just the world that we're living in. We have to change the way.
Eating, all of it is connected. And Grandma was eating different food back then.
Yes.
They were doing things different back then. There's so many toxins in our food now that, like, that mixed with alcohol and whatever else you're doing, it's definitely going to play a part in your physical health. Yeah.
Yeah. Well said. So yeah, it's exciting that fitness has become such a big cultural movement. With that being said, it's just as important to continue to embrace and be open to the internal work and talking more about, having conversations about it. How are you doing? I love that. It used to be like, so what do you do for work? How about, are you happy? How are you doing? That's more important. It used to be, so what do you do for work? Who cares? I'm here. I'm working on myself, and I do other things to pay the bills and provide a life for myself. But ultimately, are you achieving, joy in
Yeah.
in your life? So, um, yeah. Again, fitness is the foundation for all of that. So, what else?
Well, I just want to know a little bit more too about like the background, right? So like
Mm-hmm.
where you started with fitness is like you're young, you wanted to be you want to be fit and all of this, but
Yeah.
like where did you start to develop more of like the mindset of mental health,
Mm-hmm.
going into working out? Like
Right.
where did that evolve
So I
and how did
think
that happen?
so, and I relate this to some of the younger clients that I have because I feel like there is a natural progression to your body starts to change, you start to like the results of how you look, and um, if you haven't quite done some of the inner work as well, it's easy to fall into a bit of a complex. Maybe there's an insecurity that turns into a bit of arrogance or ego. The ego kind of builds a little bit, and I see that, and that's okay. When I was a young guy, I had a big ego. I was,
Mm-hmm.
it's a little arrogant until you're humbled by certain things. And when I went through a very challenging period of my life, I was living in Los Angeles, and I was trying to get into the film industry, and that was tough in itself. And I found myself living in one of the most populated cities in the world and feeling more
Mm-hmm.
lonely than I ever had. And it was a very strange, surreal feeling. But I didn't realize it at the time because it was a gift because I spent a lot of time by myself in this big city. And I had that chance to slow down and start thinking about things, thinking about me. Who am I? What am I all about? What do I want? What do I like about myself? What do I not like about myself? And so here I am. I've got this great physique, and everybody's telling me how great I look, yet I'm to absolute mess inside. So, using some of the same principles, I guess, or that same consistent effort that I was putting into my body, I started putting into the way that I think and feel
Mm-hmm.
about myself and the world around me. And that really, I think once you get to a place where you feel good about the way you look, because that's, again, everybody's kind of first goal,
Right.
that's taken care of. And then that's on maintenance mode. And you're improving, but you feel your baseline, you feel good. You feel good about how you're walking around and feeling and looking. But then that gives you more of the opportunity to okay, how can I improve myself in other ways?
Mm-hmm.
And ideally, you'd like to be able to do all that at once, but again, for me and for a lot of folks that I work with, it's a progression. And that was really when I started working on my mental health, is when things really started to change. From an energetic standpoint, I started to filter out kind of negative people and things in my life, just stuff that was getting in the way,
Mm-hmm.
the noise, and started attracting more like-minded energy, people and things into my life. And it's amazing how you think to yourself, well, how do I do that? How do I improve my life in these other aspects? Just by doing that work. You're in the gym, you're consistent, you're working on yourself, but you're also working on the
Mm-hmm.
internal. It's amazing the shifts that happen that just they automatically do. So that, and then experiencing just a little bit of results of that effort was like, oh my God, it was incredible how quickly your life can change. Just putting in the effort.
Slowly but quickly.
Quick, yes, yeah, but
I
it
know.
really is.
It
Yeah,
is,
it
yeah.
happens very slowly until it doesn't.
Right.
Right? It's
Yeah.
just like fitness. It's you put in the work every day, and you're like, I don't know if I'm seeing results. So you wake up one day, and you're like, holy wow, it's
Yeah.
incredible. So that's a really great point to make with folks. It's hard to articulate that and get someone to conceptualize it, but just trust the process. Just
Mm-hmm.
trust the process. Do the work. Trust the process. One thing
Mm-hmm.
I started journaling recently. It's like, yeah, I need to start writing things down. I get it. People tell me how important it is, but I've got it all up here. There's something that's been changing since I've been writing things out, and it's not like I'm not really one to journal and just spew all my thoughts. Although I've started doing that a little bit, but goals,
Mm-hmm.
um, you know, kind of major points, things that I just want to accomplish on a daily basis,
That's
weekly
great.
basis, monthly
I've been
basis.
trying to get you to do that
I
for a
know
while.
we've been talking about this. But just in that, it was like, okay, I'll give this a shot. I put it in my calendar, Jonny journaling tonight. And it's unbelievable how it just, you're putting the energy out into the universe is, I like to think of it as a mirror. It's just everything comes from within, and what you put out, whether you think you can, good, bad, or ugly, whatever. You're asking, you're gonna receive more of that. And I get it. It's not, well, Jonny, I can't just be happy all the time. I'm not asking you to do that. Nobody's asking anybody to do that. But if everything comes from inside you, and you're not just reacting to the external, we have the ability. We're architects. That's the whole idea of this whole human experience. I like to think we are architects, and cohesively, collectively, the more that we operate that way, that energy comes together, and that's how you make effective change in the world. That's where on a larger scale, we start evolving. We start changing the frequency of this planet. But it starts with each and every one of us, and it starts from within. It's nobody's coming to save us. We have to do the work ourselves.
It's a huge thing is finding that love within.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can find that love within, then that's gonna just like
Yeah.
yeah.
And I shared that really cool quote this morning by Sean Wallen, his friend Jesse Elder, about the lighthouse. Yeah. And I love that just right now, even more than ever, each and every one of us, we can be just stand in your truth and be a shining light. Storms are brewing. There's things happening right now. But the more of us that just decide to say, I'm going to be a shining light.
Yeah.
More of us that do that, the brighter that light gets.
Absolutely.
And again, it started for me with fitness, and that's why I love talking about this kind of stuff and incorporating it and merging it and implementing that with mental health and the starting place for it all. So a lot of people want to turn to drugs, and I'm not discrediting psychiatric and pharmaceutical care, and those are tools that could be used. But we can also do things ourselves in a naturopathic way. And there's some great medications out there that help a lot of folks. But one of those modalities and medications is fitness and starting there. So
yeah, I agree. I'm not one for pharmaceuticals myself.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily promote it, but but if it helps, it helps. I'm not one to like tell you no.
Yeah.
But I definitely am also a believer in fitness.
Yeah.
And mental health. 1,000%.
Just getting in just a basic understanding of what it is to be healthy, from a nutritional standpoint, supplementational standpoint, lifestyle standpoint, mental health standpoint. Start covering those things, you'd be surprised at how you don't have to rely on pharmaceuticals.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
awesome.
It's good stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like that was a good little spew.
Cool.
Do you have anything else that you wanted to let anybody know out there? About fitness.
That you're not alone. In the fitness community. That's one thing that's just beautiful, that, like I said before, with the communal aspect and the camaraderie, I think that more and more folks are embracing that as well. So if you feel you're not alone, if you feel like you're going through some things and you don't feel like there's any hope or anybody's listening, you feel like the world's turned its back on you, it hasn't. It's a mindset shift, and start going to places where there's other folks working on themselves.
Yeah. You never know who you'll meet.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
How can people find you if they want to?
So I'm on. I use social medias as my marketing tool. So Jonny J Fit on Instagram and Facebook, and starting a TikTok. And but yeah, those two, you can find me. And I'm really going to get into more of the podcasting and talking about these kind of issues and in relation to health and fitness. So,
okay, Jonny J Fit.
Jonny J Fit.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank
Thanks,
you so
Jonny.
much for having me. I
Welcome.
appreciate it, Carlita.
Jonny J. Fit has showed us what it means to build strength inside and out. If you are someone uplifting others through your passion or purpose, and you'd like to share your story, sign up on our website at Carlita Talk.